Welcome to the Creativity Playground, where one of our goals is to send love out into the world through handmade cards. And how fun is it to add an extra layer of whimsy for our recipient by making it interactive? So let's take a look at how we can make this fun fold window buckle card. I first learned this fun fold in my friend Naomi's card class, so I'm going to link to her shop below. But I also had the opportunity to teach this class to my friend Lala's audience over on Mommy Guide Inc. So if you'd like the full version of this tutorial, go check out that video. And for now, let's just take a quick look at how this card came together. I loved the card in Naomi's class so much that I sketched it out and then added my own twist based on the Craft Roulette episode 226 parameters. I started out using Concord and Ninth Oceanside cardstock and some We Are Memory Keepers Happy Campers. This is an A2 size card, so I just scored it in half and then temporarily adhered the pattern paper onto the front of the card because I needed to cut out the window from both the pattern paper and the card front. So the key here is to remember that you're going to use that cardstock. So the pattern paper circle, that can go and be used on another card project. Then I went ahead and adhered down the pattern paper to the card front. Now I used a circle. You could use any shape that you want. It doesn't have to be a circle. That's just, I took my inspiration from Naomi's card and that's what I used on this particular one. So using my Barely Art glue, I glued down that card front and then I went ahead and set it aside to dry while I checked out my sketch again, and I needed to cut down the mechanism that's going to go on the inside of the card. So that is 1.5 by 4 5/8. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut the inside panel at 5 1/4 by 4 inches. Then I wanted to, before I adhered my strip, I wanted to dovetail the end. So I made a mark in the roughly center and then I cut out my little dovetail using scissors, just cutting from the corner to that center mark. Then I went ahead and scored it at 1/2 inch on the non-dovetailed side and folded that over and burnished it down. Then I wanted to think about, what do I want stamped on the inside? So I was making this card during Lala's class, and one of her participants asked for me to use a school of fish. So one of the Craft Roulette parameters was teach or teaches. And so School of Fish fit perfectly. So I used the Close to My Heart Officially Awesome. Clearly it is retired as Close to My Heart is no longer in business. Okay, not that that's funny, that's sad, but there you are. It is what it is. Okay, so I went ahead and glued down the panel, including that strip that's going to form the mechanism. And now I only want to add glue to the part that is inside the circle that's going to be covered by the circle of cardstock. So I can set that aside to dry, and start thinking about how I want to decorate the front. So taking the circular die cut that I created in the beginning, I went ahead and added a bunch of Oceanside ink to the circle because I want it to look like water for the little school of fish. And then I'm taking the sentiment, which is, in this case, best fishes or birthday fishes. Birthday fishes. And then I realized, oh wait, I'm using this Kindred Stamps die, which is not see-through, so I had to make a little mask so that I knew where I could place the die so that it would cut out my sentiment perfectly. It's a little bit off screen there. But then I also took one of the longer die cuts and or banner die cuts and cut out that same pattern paper, the wood grain pattern paper, and then adhered those together so that, or I guess I haven't adhered them together yet, but I'm going to. So I added the circle, the white circle, to my cardstock and let that dry for a bit while I worked on the sentiment strip, and added a little shell to that since it's going to be a school of fish. And here is where I started gluing the sentiment panel together because I knew that I wanted it to hang off the edge. So I kind of figured out where I wanted it, added the adhesive only to that portion, and then lined it up and allowed it to dry a little bit before I cut off those ends that I don't need. And so now you can start seeing that it's coming together. I've got the sentiment on the outside and inside. And now I'm taking a bunch of that officially awesome images that I had colored previously. And by previously, I mean like in 2020. So I'm glad I finally get to use these. And I still have a whole bunch left too. Yeah, it's crazy. But I started adding the little pieces to try to figure out where I wanted them. And in the first card that I made in Lala's class, I added a lot more of the pieces, but here I just was not, with the ones that I had left over, I was not liking where they were ending up. So I just kind of decided to start over and added a little bit more ink to make it look a little bit more blue and ocean-like. The Craft Roulette colors are jungle colors, so I'm using lots of blue and brown and green and coral to signify the jungle, a lush jungle. Okay, so in this case I started with the seaweed, and that was another one of the parameters was tangle. So I did a tangle of seaweed, and then I guess you could kind of say the card itself is a bit tangled because you have to put the or the way that the mechanism, the window buckle mechanism work is sort of tangled up. That's what I'm going for anyway. And then I decided to stamp some bubbles for the little fishies. And then I put my Nemo looking fish. I went ahead and adhered it with some foam tape so it would pop up, and added a little bit more foam tape to some of the other fishes. And apparently this is like sped up 2 times, but I'm still doing this really slowly, so hope you don't mind watching me tape stuff. Okay, so then I wanted to make it look like the bubbles were coming out of that fish. And then I decided that I was going to continue adding a little bit of the seaweed greenery in the bottom of the card. And if you've watched any of my more recent videos, I've been talking about trying to master the tweezers a little bit better. I see people using tweezers all the time, so I'm working on it. I think I feel like I'm getting better. But if you have not used tweezers, I definitely recommend it, because I would just find that my fingers would get in the way and it was hard to see things. And so this just makes it a lot easier. And of course I say that just in a moment when I'm not even using the tweezers. Okay, so then I wanted to add a little bit more of that coral color to give a bit of a visual triangle of the coral. And so I just added one more little shell down there. And then decided that I had room for one more fish, so just added a little bit more foam tape. Now you'll notice that I've got 2 pairs of scissors here. So one is my Teflon pair of scissors, and the other is just my standard scissors. So one's for adhesive, one's for everything else. Okay, so there you have it. That is my birthday fishes card with the window buckle opening. And inside it says, "You are officially awesome." Thank you so much for watching this video, and be sure to check out my other videos. Until next time, remember to make time for creative play, because your mental health matters. Bye.